first episode of SLiNK TV. I'm your host, Rifki Baum, and today I'm joined by our very blonde panel. Our first panellist is Becky Barnes, the co-founder of Plus North and the social media manager for SLiNKboutique.com. I'm also joined by Plus model, Grace Brackstone, and the winner of America's Next Top Model, Whitney Thompson, who's also now a successful plus-size model. On today's episode of SLiNK TV, we'll be discussing some of the top plus-size stories that have happened in the past few weeks. We'll also be showing you how to solve some of your style dilemmas, as well as interviewing our guest panellist, Whitney Thompson, on her life since America's Next Top Model. Whitney, what story have you got for us?
I have a story from the plus-size model Tara Lynn, who went on and said, "It's hard to make plus-size clothes look great on big women." Verbatim.
I mean, we've obviously seen over the last few months, especially in the UK, there's been loads of new plus-size brands that have emerged. There's, you know, lots of plus-size events going on, like Plus North and British Plus Size Fashion Weekend. So, as Tara is someone that's in this industry, what do you think about what she says? I mean, she's almost like a co-model to you. She's, you know, she's almost like a colleague to you guys.
Yeah, an associate. I think it sounds like a model that doesn't want a job tomorrow.
Yeah, we both kind of was like, when we read it, we was both like, what? You kind of think, well,
if Tara has trouble making clothes look good on her, that sounds like a personal problem. That's not something I deal with if any clients want to contact me. No, I think that it's a really ignorant statement for her to say. I think that it sounds like she's a girl who has clearly dealt with her weight, has issues with her weight, and you know that it's coming from somewhere where I don't think she means it to be mean towards other people, but if she truly believes that it's more difficult for clothes to look, you know, better on her than quote-unquote a clothes hanger, which is what she goes out in the article and says, that women should be skinny and look like clothes hangers because clothes look better on them. That's her highly ignorant opinion.
Yeah. I mean, we all know that you never kind of see fashion shows where there's bigger women. It tends to be your size 6, 8 model. So, I mean, maybe does she have a point? Because otherwise, if clothes did look really good on bigger women, would designers be
Here's
using
my
them?
point. When Tyra Banks was a size 6, she modeled for Calvin Klein, and now size 6 is considered plus.
Yeah.
So you know, the industry changed. It wasn't us.
Yeah.
So to say now that, oh, well, size 6 is too big, it's just totally unrealistic. The industry has more
American by which would be a UK 10.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was like, this is getting so depressing. Like, you know,
that's still under the national average.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of think I read that article, and I'm with you, Whitney. It kind of, you know, red rag to a bull. It's like, why would you say that? First of all, I thought to myself, has she been misquoted? You know, because people are, let's be honest, in the media, you are misquoted, especially in her, you know, in our industry, you know, if we're seen eating a cake, it's like, oh God, she's a plus size model, but she's eating a cake. You know, we're not allowed to be ourselves, and it's kind of like, I feel that what she said is both ridiculous and very arrogant and very ignorant, because she's kind of doing herself out of work, out of a job, and she's kind of making us look silly as well. Like, why is there an industry for us?
It's making other people feel bad. And she wasn't misquoted, because she went on to say, it makes perfect sense that people are using a standard clothes hanger skinny body for selling clothes. First of all, that's not standard.
No.
Okay?
And doesn't that imply then that actually our designers don't know how to make clothes? I mean, Becky, obviously these two girls are plus models, so the way they view fashion is slightly different. But as a plus woman and a consumer, how do Tara's comments make you feel?
I think realistically, dressing a plus size body can pose some challenges sometimes, as opposed to just being a really slim girl who's able to walk into a shop and pick up anything she wants.
Definitely.
But that doesn't mean that we don't look great when we do dress up.
The problem is that designers no longer design for human beings. They design for emaciated 13-year-old girls to look good on the runway.
Because even when you've got what I would consider a slim girl, like a UK 8'10", even they are
That's too big.
So much bigger than that. Yeah, the ideal of what those designers have in their head.
So I'm, you know, sorry that I'm not willing to apologize for having an average human being size slash shaped body, and I think that Tara Lynn is a complete moron if she thinks that she is allowed to say that we are the wrong size, you know, that we are hard to dress. We are humans, and I'm not sorry that I'm not a clothes hanger.
Every time someone puts that message out there, whatever guise that message is, every time someone says that body shape is wrong, that's a teenage girl at home going, oh my god,
and in
I need to get my diet, I need to do this.
As a plus size model, what kind of responsibilities we have to not lose weight. If you look at models like Crystal Wren, who, you know, little girls, whether they should or not, look up to them if they can relate to them, and even older women feel that they can relate. And when those models go off and lose 50 pounds and say, well, now I'm happier than ever, you know, it's making people feel bad about themselves, and that sort of responsibility. How can you live with yourself when you are hurting people? Even if you feel that way, keep it to yourself.
I think if you're in the public eye, you have to be very careful what you put out there. She's a very well-known model, and she's very well known within the industry, and she's probably even more well known within the straight size, as I call it, industry. You know, I don't like to call anyone, you know, I don't like to put people in pigeonholes. You know, if you're a beautiful size 6 girl and, you know, you're a model, great. I'd like to think that girl's healthy. I promote health and, you know, body awareness, whether you're slim or you're bigger, whatever. I think everyone's beautiful. But she has an obligation to the industry, to herself and to her peers, that she should not be advocating such nonsense like that. And that's that.
If you've got any comments on today's topics, don't forget you can tweet us at SLiNK Boutique or at SLiNK Magazine.